a year now that you have started your journey as a musician, I would say.
Yeah. So I started last year on releasing music as an artist for the first time, singing for the first time. People in my family didn't know I sang. My friends didn't know I was going to explore it. So yeah, I'm very proud that I've done it for a year now, like just slightly over a year, and it's been a journey.
Yeah, and it's quite curious because you started from a completely different background, I would say. You have a PhD in chemistry, isn't it?
Yes.
And then you just decided to explore this passion, and you actually been doing quite a lot in a year. You've been featured in different radios, very important as well. Yeah. So how does it start? Like, why did you decide to just change and try something different?
I think I've always been one of those people that are like, I've had a passion for music for a long time. I've always dreamt of doing music, but I made it like more of a dream than actually a reality. I just kept it as like, oh, it'd be a cool thing to do. And then the lockdown, I think, added a bit of, it added pressure for everyone. It felt maybe like a bit more congested, and you're like, you don't know what's going to happen in the world. So I just thought, I need to do it now or never. So I really just said, you know what's the worst going to happen? Maybe I will just stop doing music. And for me at that time, it wasn't a risk. I do music, I don't do music, it doesn't make a difference. So I just went for it. There wasn't anything particular that made me drive it, but I think the lockdown played a huge part in that.
Okay, so you just woke up one day, so okay, let me try this.
Yeah.
And it eventually turned good as well. And
yeah. I mean, I did like a few like musical things in the past, but just like as a backing vocalist, and I did some open mics for a bit, but it just didn't feel like I could do that. I was like, I'm in science, like why would a scientist go and sing? But then just something clicked, and I said, like, I want to be an artist now. I want to do it. So I just went for it. Yeah.
And is there someone that has particularly inspired you to, start this journey? Or did they actually come from you?
I've been a very resilient person. I think in everything I've done, I felt like I've pushed myself. I'm like, okay, like even science, I went and studied all the way up to doing a PhD because I like to do the best that I can, and it might not be perfect, but I always like to do the best that I can. So I met a lot of artists through my own radio show that I used to do at university. I did a bit of podcasting, and it was like in the background, like I wish I could do music. I wish I could. So then when I did explore music last year, I went the full way. I released a couple of singles now. I did the music video. I started my YouTube channel. Like I just went for it.
That's a lot, like in a professional level as well. It's not like you'd say, okay, let me just try, and you just did it for the sake of it. Like you went just full on in everything. So that's good, because I think, as you were saying earlier, like we were having a conversation, you really have to believe in what you're doing so that others also can believe in what you're doing.
Of course, yeah. I'm a strong believer of like, if you don't believe in your dreams, it'll never happen.
That's so
because
true.
No one else is going to believe it for you. Only you know what you want, right? So I'm still growing. I'm still trying to gain confidence. But yeah, it's getting there. I'm happy to say I'm an established artist now, and I'm on the right way,
Definitely. Good. So let's have a little interaction with Platinum News, and then I'm going to come back with more for you.
Thank you.
But yeah, so because you're very expert in this social media, or I'll call it. So, because if I can say, you also have your YouTube channel.
Yes.
That you're doing great things with that as well. How do you think it's important for an artist nowadays to have like the social media presence, I would say?
I think it's the most important thing. And I know this sounds terrible, but sometimes even more than the music, I feel like a social presence is super important to gain any fan base. But also people, I think, listen to music with their eyes. I say this all the time because they want to see how you look. They want to see what what things mean the most to you, you know. What's your character like?
I want to get to know you.
Exactly. So that's kind of why I started the YouTube channel. I thought, why not put myself a bit out there and express myself in other ways outside the music, and take people on moments where I'm not feeling great, or where I am feeling great, or where I'm at a radio station, or you know. So I think people want to see that you know, music is great, and I just feel like the new generation is a little bit focused on the full package, not just the music.
They want to know the story behind what you're doing. They want.
We're storytellers, right? Whether you're whatever kind of creative you are telling a story, and if it can be through music, it can be through radio, it can be through podcasting, arts. It's all storytelling. So I think you need to give your viewers and your audience as much as you can, and I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it.
That's good.
There are parts that I don't, but for the most part, I think it's fun to do.
And what is the most feedback that you receive when you're doing that?
I've had great feedback. I think for me, the biggest thing is when someone can say, like I had a message on Twitter from some random person. I did not know who they were. They said, I've been following your page for a long time, and I came across your YouTube video where you were talking about how nervous you were for your first music video. I celebrate a year on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
recently.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But, you know, that message was like, I love that you were open and honest to express those things. And that means a lot, you know, for someone to take the time to find me, to tweet me. I'm not an A-list celebrity for them to do that. Be a fan of. So it meant the world. So I've had great feedback from it.
Because most of the time you get, you know, the most feedback and the most cutest feedback from the people that you would never
least expect it. Yeah.
And you don't. Most of the time we don't even realize that, because obviously we are focused doing our own things, and we don't realize that there are people actually paying attention in a positive way, sometimes not in a positive way, but there's always, you know, people that are touched from what you do. Even the smallest things that you might not even realize, there's someone that's that, like, oh wow, I can relate with that, or I do understand that really helps me. Actually, now that actually remember me something, someone sent me a message on Twitter. Actually, was asking me about accent. It was like, how do you think about having a strong, you know, foreign accent? You know, is there something that can stop you? I was like, just try it. That's basically what I'm doing. So I don't think it's something that can really stop you. And then I was actually compliment and say like, oh wow, really appreciate the fact that you don't, you know, you're still doing your thing. And this is really inspiring me. I was like, wow,
that's amazing.
People are actually listening. Like,
that's amazing. No, I think that's what it is, right? You want to. I mean, it's great to inspire people in any kind of way, and especially when it's such a positive influence to make them go and, you know, push themselves and drive themselves to be creative. I also had a very similar experience with somebody. I did a small production last year. We released it earlier this year. It was a small web series like The Office, and I had someone message me like, oh, I love that you're really going for it, you know, doing the creative stuff, and now I've started my own design company.
Oh wow. And
I was like, you know what, that's so cool, right? Like, for somebody to feel inspired, even if they didn't think, oh my god, he's the best thing in the world, like they actually themselves were driven to go and do something, I think is incredible. I never thought that anyone would be inspired by me, you know. And most people feel like that. Anyone listening, yourself, you might not feel as though you could inspire somebody, but if you can, like, that's just a game changer in life. So it's incredible, because
most of the time there's people have self-doubt, so they need a little bit of pushing to start doing stuff. So people that already actually started, that have found the brave, or can be luck, can be like support, anything that made you start. Sometimes it's the last bit that can inspire somebody else to be like, okay, let me know, I can start as well. You know, let me just do it, the first step, because sometimes it's just one step that you need before be able to keep on, you know, doing bigger things as well. We are always 100% our biggest critic. Like, we will, like, I can't explain to you. There are moments where I shouldn't be doing music. I should be doing music. It's like it's a lot. But if anyone is listening and is inspired to do something, go for it. Just go for it. You know, don't be scared. And obviously you might do mistakes, you might have doubts, but the things that if you never start, you will never know.
Right.
So the things that you always have to start from, the first step, and then keep on going like that.
We're all learning and growing, so yes.
What was that your biggest fear when you first started?
I think also in ethnic communities specifically, I've noticed there is a fear of what people will think. It comes from our cultures. We are very we rely and have a lot of weight for what other people think about us. I think that's also human nature. It's not just a minority thing, but I think especially in our communities, it's everything surrounds what people think of you. So for me, I think the biggest reservation was I hadn't been creative before. And for me to then go from something super scientific to something super creative, completely left, it was nerve-wracking. And I felt like, am I wasting my time? Am I doing something that's not good for me? And also, what will people think? What will my mum think? What will my family think? Or what will my friends think? Do they think that I'm just doing having a midlife crisis and going exploring this? So I feel like that was my biggest reservation, and it still at some points is, if I'm performing on stage or if I'm putting something on YouTube, I still have a bit of a reservation, but I'm just fighting through it. All right, so we're gonna have a little break with the Alpha's advert, and then I'm gonna come back with you. Thank you.
Music, and you also have a new single.
Yes.
That you just released it.
Yes. So my new single is called Not Easy.
Yeah.
It's on all streaming platforms. It was released 2 weeks ago. So I'm super happy about that song. It's about actually what we've been talking about recently, about being anxious about exploring something new, being nervous about trying something different. So it really embodies everything I felt when I first started. So yeah, it's out now. I filmed the video today actually, come on new show, so that might be out next week.
Okay.
Which was a lot of fun.
So how do you feel it to have it out there? I know that's not your first thing, but I can imagine an artist or any kind of creative, it's different when you're working on it. And then it's different when it's done. It's there. It's out. Any people, they can consume it and they can just use it and they can, share their opinion, their feedback. How do you feel about that?
I'm proud of the song. I'm very, very proud of the song. I sat on the song for a long time. So when I first went to be this artist that I am, I went full throttle. I was like, let me record all the music. Let me get all my thoughts down. So I recorded almost an album, 12 tracks worth of music. And I sat on it for a while. I was like, shall I release it? Shall I not? Shall I release it? Shall I not? So I've had the song for a long time. And it's always nerve-wracking. Every release is oh my God, no one's gonna like it. And you get nervous about everything. But I just, with this song in particular, I feel like it just really, if you listen to the lyrics and if you listen to it just on a personal level, I think it embodies what everyone feels when they're trying something different. It's that nervousness and anxiousness. So it's a song that means a lot as well. So
and a lot of people can relate to that as well, that as we were saying earlier, that sometimes some stuff that we think that we are only going through as an individual, but then realize that it's actually very, very common to many other people.
Yeah, I think for me, with all messages, I want to be as authentic as I can be. I want people to know that it's not fun. Sometimes trying something new, pushing yourself to your dreams, sometimes is not fun. It can be the worst feeling ever.
Because you're going out from your comfort zone.
You're stepping outside your comfort zone. You're not used to it. It's so scary. But people, you're on social media. Sometimes people don't see that. You see yourself on holiday. You see the sparkles. You see the fun.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you, because that's the issue with me. Because many people, they have misconception. So most of the things that I do, even on a personal level, they seem so easy, right? And then when another person tries, oh, I didn't know that was that complicated, or you have to go to even just moving from a different country. Oh yeah, because you only put out the best part, and people just assume that You just do it like that.
I mean, we were talking about your show, right? There's so much preparation that goes into it. There's so many technical things that you need to kind of figure out. So it's a lot of pressure. Whereas when someone's listening in, it's a great convo. It's a fun thing to do. You got your own radio show. I think, it's a lot. It's a lot of pressure. And social media, that's the negative side that I think is a bit too much. But I've tried to be as open and transparent as I can. I'm a new artist. Like, people don't know who I am, and I already feel the pressure. I already feel the stress, and I feel sometimes to give up, and I sometimes feel sad and upset that things don't work, and I get nervous about sharing it with my family and friends. Like, even my brothers, like, honestly, I don't share my music with them. I kind of release it. Yeah. My mum only heard my music like very, very recently. She only discovered my YouTube channel very recently.
Why is that?
Because I love you, Mum, and I love you, family. But they mean a lot to me. Okay. So to disappoint them sometimes feels scary, and you don't feel your work is good enough. Like, you never feel good enough, right? Well, for a lot of people. So I think I always got nervous. Like, what if she sees this and like, what are you doing? So I felt nervous about it, but she was happy. She was very supportive now. She loves what I'm doing. And I know that was in my own head about it, but it's a real experience, right? Everyone gets nervous about things, and everyone gets scary. Yeah,
that's very interesting because most of the artists that I've interviewed, they actually do the opposite. Obviously, they're gonna be like nervous about sharing the things that they do, but they feel most nervous and scared from strangers, basically, because they don't know you and all of that.
Yeah,
so
mine's the opposite. Yeah,
it's the opposite. It's quite interesting. It's like the first time that I'm hearing it, but it actually makes sense because that's the most important people for you.
Exactly.
So their opinion has an effect. Why not strangers that like an opinion? People can have different opinion,
right? But
the people that that have surround you is different because sometimes your self-esteem, but also the way you feel about yourself is very linked to how the people that surround you, the feel about you and the things that you do.
And you are connected with the friends and family that you have around them. You do represent them to a level, right? Sure. You are connected, so anything that you do is a slight reflection on them. It never really is, but I think that's how people view it. And of course they're valuable to me. They're hugely important in my life. So if they were upset by it or if they didn't like it, it would devastate me. Whereas if it's a stranger,
sure,
should I put my emphasis on that? I still value, I mean, we had a conversation off air about this. Like, I feel strangers actually give you the most support. That's the power of social media. You're getting people who, like, from across the world who you've never met in real life, message you and say, I love what you're doing. I love your song. I love your music.
That's true.
That's incredible. And that means a lot as well. But I think for the most part, the sharing side of things, I always get nervous when it comes to family and friends. Everyone else, I'm like, I hope you like it. If you're listening and you check out my music, I hope you like it, and I'd love for you to like it, but I get more nervous with family.
Okay. But what has been the feedback so far from your family?
My mum was very surprised. I played her one of my favorite songs. I haven't released it yet, which I recorded, and she was like, you know what, I didn't really realize you had a voice like that.
Because they didn't know, right?
They didn't know.
You just put it out. You were doing your things on secret, on silence.
Yeah.
Coming from the scientific PhD thing.
Yeah.
And boom, you just put music out there.
Exactly. So I think they were surprised, but pleasantly surprised, which was great. Yeah.
That's actually inspiring because sometimes we are stuck of focusing one area, and we think that this is what I'm good at, this is what I want to do, and it's good, but other times you have to explore. You have to know 100%. If there's more about you, there's more that you can do or that you can't do, and maybe that's just a confirmation that what you're doing is okay.
Yeah.
But other times I feel like you're still alive, just explore and
100%. We're multi-dimensional beings.
Definitely.
We're not limited by what people say that we can and can't do. So I know I've had feedback where it's like, I've got a little bit of a production thing on the side. I'm doing a podcast. Like, I'm doing so many different things. But so they're like, focus on one. But we can do it all. Why not try it all? And I don't have to be great at everything. And that's another pressure that you can lift. Like, don't have to be great. Try it. If you feel like you want to do it, try it. So yeah, that's the mission I'm on for the rest of my life from this point, because I feel like creative people have a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
but we need to just let go and just go for it. So try it all.
Just go for it. All right, we're gonna come back and I'll do the interruption. Then come back in a few minutes with Akso and Sandrin.
Oh, he was German?
Yeah, it was German.
Never knew that. I thought it was an American.
That's what I thought, but it's actually it was actually a German singer.
Wow. Yeah, it's such a and what a legacy to leave behind, right? Everyone knows that song. So good.
I mean, it depends how old you are.
Oh, true. I forget. Maybe we've shown our age.
Exactly. But anyway, so back to you. What I wanted to ask you is if you wasn't for music, would you be trying something different?
Yeah, I mean, even as a day job, I'm a content creator for a pharmaceutical company. So I do videos, magazines, brochures. I do something creative. I think if I wasn't doing music, I'd have to find another outlet. And I have dived into a lot of different things. I did some. I used to do resin art. I used to do I've attempted to do a lot of creative things. So. Yeah. I'd have to find an outlet. I think it's in me that I need to do something creative.
You have to put out your work and just create and just because you have loads of ideas. I think you should consider maybe start doing some kind of workshops or consulting
that's so nice.
Things. No, actually,
I've had that recommendation. They
just came like that. You just flow from ideas. It's something that you should consider.
Oh, thank you. No, I've had that recommendation before. I'd love to do it. I think I love sharing.
Yeah, definitely.
And I've learned a lot I used to be a social media and community manager. I worked on other social platforms for different companies. So I've learned a few things here and there, and I'm also learning and growing, but I'm full of ideas. So yeah, maybe one day.
Who is your main inspiration? Is there someone that is inspiring you to do what you're doing, or to, someone that you would like to imitate in something?
I wouldn't say anyone specifically. As a musician, I have obviously many people that have influenced me, but as just a creative in general, I get inspired about lots of different things. I'm a scrapbooker, so I have a scrapbook, and if I see an image I like, if I see colors I like, if I see words I like, I put it in. So I'm somebody who's constantly collating ideas and things that inspire me. Everything around us inspires me, essentially. So I don't have one particular person. You've inspired me today with your show.
You too. Thank you.
And I think everyone does.
That's true.
Yeah. So not one. Today it's you.
Yeah, I think that we have to. The best thing is when you manage to get to a point of inspiring and inspire. So there's a cycle of get in and then put it out there. Yeah. And that's how the world
it's good energy both ways. Yeah. I'm a strong believer of whatever faith or whatever ideas you believe in. I'm a strong believer that energy is just exchanged consistently between people, between the world, everywhere. So I think if I'm able to share ideas, I will receive. Yeah. And that's the motto I follow.
So for our listeners, if you want to share your ideas, two people that they'll be happy to listen to your ideas and to to your feedbacks, what you think about
exactly
the creative things that you're seeing and you're listening to.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? Hit us up on Instagram if you have any feedback on this show, on this interview. Hit us up, and we're more than happy to take ideas and give ideas.
Exactly. So in conclusion, where can our listener find your materials and music? I know there's the video coming very soon, and you just released your song.
Yes. So I'm Akso Hart. That's AKSO Hart. On all social media platforms, including Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, if that's what you're doing. TikTok's not great, so maybe don't follow me on that.
Maybe not now.
Or maybe that's the feedback I can get. Give me some feedback on TikTok. But on all social media platforms, Akso Hart, AKSO, and then HEART.
Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for listening. That was Loud, Sandrin and Akso Hart. And see you next Friday. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.